The alarms didn't stop. Red lights pulsed across every screen inside the Velari command ship, Serenity Prime. Officers rushed from station to station, shouting reports, their soft blue skin pale with fear. Explosions echoed in the distance vibrations. So deep they shook the bones. Admiral Kethra stood in silence. Her golden robes swayed gently, untouched by the chaos around her. But her eyes, sharp and calm, were locked on the giant holomap of the battlefield. One by one, the Velari ships vanished from the map, swallowed by Krell fire. "We're losing," whispered her second-in-command, Sora Ven. "They've breached the outer rim. Shield generators are down." The Krell Dominion had come fast without warning. 10 years ago, they attacked the first border world. Now they were here, hammering on the door of Velari's last hope. The Krell didn't talk. They didn't negotiate. They just conquered. Kethra spoke quietly, almost to herself. "Activate Protocol Omega." Sora froze. "Admiral." "You can't mean." "Do it," she said. "We swore we'd only use him if we had no other choice. We have none left." Deep silence spread across the bridge. Then Sora nodded. He pressed a series of codes into his console. Far below, in the most protected chamber of the ship, ancient systems came to life. The cryo chamber was silent. Metal walls glowed with faint blue light. In the center of the room stood a long glass pod. Inside it, covered in frost, was a man. Tall, broad-shouldered, human. Commander Jace Monroe. He had been asleep for 200 years. A war hero. A destroyer. A man whose name the Velari no longer spoke. He had fought in the great expansion wars the Velari wished to forget, but they didn't destroy him. They preserved him. Because one day, someone feared they might need him again. The chamber doors opened. 2 Velari guards stood outside, weapons ready. A third figure entered. A small, nervous scientist named Lyra. Her fingers shook as she typed on the ancient interface. "He still has a heartbeat," she said. "Brain activity? Rising fast. It's working." The lights above the pod blinked. Red, yellow, then green. The ice began to melt. Inside. The human twitched. Up on the bridge. Admiral Kethra turned to the crew. "Prepare the war room. He will ask questions, and we must be ready to answer." "You trust him?" Sora asked quietly. "I don't," Kethra replied, "but I need him." Outside the ship, another explosion rocked the shields. A cruiser. Went dark. The Krell were advancing. The pod hissed. The glass lid slid open. Steam rose from inside. Jace Monroe sat up slowly. His eyes blinked against the lights. His body shivered, muscles waking from a long sleep. He touched his bare chest, then looked around. Velari faces. Watching, afraid. He smirked. "Either I'm dreaming," he said, voice dry, "or you finally ran out of peace talks." Lyra stepped forward. "You're aboard the Serenity Prime. You've been asleep for 2 centuries. Jace stretched, rolling his shoulders. His voice held no panic, no confusion. Only focus. "Who are we fighting?" Lyra hesitated. "The Krell Dominion." Jace stood up, ignoring the shaking in his legs. "Never heard of them. How bad is it?" "They're winning," she said softly. Jace laughed once, not out of joy, but out of recognition. "Of course they are." He looked at the Velari guards, then at the walls. "Where's the nearest command terminal?" he asked, down the hall. But he was already walking. Back in the war room. Admiral Kethra watched the footage from the cryo chamber. She saw him rise. She saw the look in his eyes, the look of a human soldier. "He's not like us," she said. "No," Sora agreed. "But maybe that's exactly what we need." Jace reached the control center. He tapped on holograms, scanning data at lightning speed. Krell fleet patterns. Ship layouts. Tactical logs. No wonder you're losing, he muttered. You're fighting with honor. They're fighting to win. He looked up at the room full of aliens. You kept me locked away for 200 years, because you were afraid of what? I'd do in battle, he said. Well, look around. His hand pointed to the burning skies on the screen. This isn't a war you can negotiate. This is survival. He turned to Admiral Kethra, who had just entered. You woke me up, Jace. Said, that means you want my help. Fine. But if I fight my way. Kethra nodded once. Do what you must. Jace stepped toward the window. Outside, Krell ships swarmed like hornets. He smiled, just a little. They wanted a fight, he said. Now they'll get one. And behind him, the war room filled with quiet hope. The chamber hissed as cold gas escaped. Lights around the pod blinked from red to green. Inside, the human's eyes opened slowly. Commander Jace Monroe was awake, that his body shook from the cold. His muscles, stiff from centuries of sleep, ached as he moved. He reached for the side of the chamber, coughing hard. A soft blue glow lit the room. Alien lights, smooth metal, strange symbols. Jace blinked. This ... isn't Earth, he muttered. A soft voice replied. You are aboard the Velari command vessel. I am Lyra. I will assist you. He turned. Floating. In front of him was a translucent being, gentle and glowing, with calm, white eyes. A Velari. What year is it? Jace asked. Year 481 of the Galactic Peace Accord. Earth Standard Year. Unknown. He rubbed his face. I was only supposed. To sleep for 20. What happened? Lyra hesitated. We needed peace. We trusted diplomacy. But now we are losing. Jace stepped out of the pod. His legs were weak, but his mind sharp. He scanned the chamber. Alien technology. Too clean, too soft. No weapons in here, he noted. No armor, no AI links. Lyra floated closer. We sealed your tech, said we'd never use it again, but the Krell are destroying us. Hundreds of worlds burned. Our fleet crushed. Jace stared at her. So now you want the human weapon back. We want hope. He gave a dry laugh. You didn't freeze a hero. You froze a problem, Lyra nodded. Yes, but you're also the only one who ever fought them ... and won. Jace looked down at his hands. He still wore the cryosuit black, armored fibers fused with neural mesh. He tapped a tiny panel near his wrist. It blinked. Surprised this still works. He muttered. The door slid open. Outside, chaos. Velari ran in all directions. A screen showed the battle-bright explosions, ships tearing apart, Krell war beasts boarding nearby stations. Jace stepped forward. He watched the screen. You built all this, and still couldn't stop them? Lyra floated beside him. We built for peace. They came for conquest. Jace's jaw clenched. Peace needs teeth. She looked at him. Then be our teeth. He didn't reply right away. His eyes were locked on the Krell warships. Massive. Black constructs. Sharp, brutal, ugly. Designed to kill, not to communicate. Suddenly, a deep voice came over the intercom. General Velrin to the command deck. The Krell have breached the lower hangars. Lyra's face darkened. They're inside. Jace turned to her. What's the fastest way to the AI core? Lyra blinked. The AI core? But why? I need control. Your systems are clean, elegant. I can use that. You need weapons, don't you? No, Jace said, his voice steady. I need code. She led him down the hallway. The lights flickered. Smoke filled part of the corridor. Distant blasts echoed. Velari guards shimmering energy in their hands stood watch, but looked nervous. None of them spoke to the human. They only stared. He passed them like a ghost from an old war. A figure from stories their parents never believed. Inside the AI core, glowing spheres floated above a large console. Jace walked straight to the panel. His fingers moved quickly inputting commands, cracking layers of encryption. The Velari hadn't upgraded since before he slept. "Perfect. I've got system access," he said. "All ships in this sector, I can link them." Lyra floated beside him. "What are you planning?" "Something simple," he smiled. "I'm going to make them see ghosts." Suddenly, the screens lit up. The fleet's communication channels were alive again. Jace fed in old Earth code military patterns the Krell hadn't seen in centuries. Every Velari ship now moved with a new rhythm. Fast, sharp, human. "They'll think you're using Terran tactics," he said. "They'll panic. They hate unpredictability." A nearby screen showed the Krell fleet pulling back just slightly. Gasped. "It's working?" "For now," Jace said. "But this is just the start. I need full control. Give me a war deck, a command core, anything with firepower." Lyra hesitated. "There's one ship, the Vengeance-class prototype. We never finished it. We were afraid of what it stood for." "Good," Jace said. "Fear is a weapon, too." The floor shook. Sirens blared again. Another explosion. Lyra looked at him. "We'll guide you there." Jace stepped back. "No need. Link me in." He closed his eyes. The interface on his wrist blinked green dot, and for the first time in 200 years, humanity's war mind connected to the stars again. Commander Jace Monroe stepped into the Velari command center, his boots echoing on the smooth silver floor. Every eye turned to him, some filled with fear, others with hope. Velari General Sale watched him carefully. "We've transferred command." "To you, Commander. Our systems, ships, soldiers, everything." Jace glanced at the holographic battle map. The Krell Dominion's red markers swarmed the blue. "Everything's already lost," he muttered. "You let them take half the sector." "We used everything we had," General Sale said quietly. Jace turned sharply. "No. You used everything you understood." "That's different." The Velari had expected a calm, slow plan. Instead, Jace moved fast. He barked orders, rearranged fleets, disconnected automated defense systems, and plugged in raw command code. His fingers moved like fire across the console. "Prepare to lose a few ships," he warned. "We'll hit them where they're sure we won't." "Lose ships?" "One." The Velari officer gasped. "That's not how we fight." Jace looked at him, cold and steady. "That's why you're losing." He launched the first strike something wild. A small squadron flew into the Krell's main destroyer path. A suicide. Run? But then, in the confusion, Jace moved a silent drone fleet through the asteroid field. He didn't fire lasers. He launched jammers-coded noise that infected Krell targeting systems. Their ships began to miss. Not by much. Just a little. But in war, a little is deadly. Velari techs stared in disbelief as Krell ships blasted each other by mistake. Jace smiled. Their AI is aggressive, but not smart. Behind him, Velari officers whispered to each other. "Is this chaos or genius?" "Both," Sale said. "That's what humans bring." Later, as Jace returned to his quarters, he passed by the cryochamber he once called home. Still cold. Still humming. He placed a hand on the glass. "I didn't want to wake up," he whispered. "But if I have to fight, I won't hold back." Back. On the Krell flagship, their high commander growled. "Something's changed. The Velari fight like animals now." "No," his second-in-command said. "They've unleashed one." Ending suspense, Jace stood before a blank screen. Then he said something that made the Velari freeze. "Get me access to your black archives. I need Project Ghost Protocol." Sales. Voice trembled. That project was erased. Banned. Jace looked at her. Then it's time to unban it, if you want to survive. Fade to black. The room was silent as General Sale stared at Commander Jace Monroe. No one is allowed to access. Project Ghost Protocol, she said. It was locked away for a reason. Jace didn't flinch. And your reason is dying out there with every second. Outside, on the massive star maps, red markers continued to grow. Krell ships pushed deeper into Velari space. Civilian transports vanished. Planets went dark. I don't need your permission, Jace said. Just your access code. Sale hesitated. One by one, the Velari officers turned to her. Eyes wide, waiting. Finally, she lowered her head. Code accepted. The AI confirmed. A deep humming began in the room. A hidden wall opened. Behind it, cold. Storage units lined with black metal.jac. He stepped inside. Rows of devices lay ahead. Not weapons, not drones' memories. Human minds copied and stored, pulsing with faint light. These, Jace said, pointing, are the ghosts. Soldiers like me. Too dangerous to keep alive. Too valuable to erase. He walked down the row, stopping at a name. L.T. Mara Yensu. She once led an entire rebellion on Daltros 9 with only 20 people, Jace said. Then she refused to stop fighting, even when the war ended. She went rogue, Sale said quietly. She refused peace with monsters, Jace corrected. And now we need her mind. He tapped the console. Data streamed fast. Light poured. Into a drone core nearby. Slowly, a figure formed transparent, but full of fire. It was Mara. Not flesh, but memory. Who woke me up? She asked sharply. I did, Jace said. We've got Krell crawling all over Velari space. Mara blinked. Then she grinned. About time. One by one, Jace activated more ghosts, each one a piece of the Forgotten War. Each one carrying tactics the Velari never dreamed of. High above the fleet, the Krell launched a new wave planet. Burners. Weapons designed to erase entire worlds in minutes. They think we're scared, Mara said. Jac. He turned to Sale. Can your people handle what's coming? We don't know what's coming, Sale said. You're about to, Jace replied. We're going to use a trick the Krell never saw coming. In the shadows of Velari space, a forgotten satellite lit up. An ancient code pulsed from it, an old human war beacon. It was banned long ago, but now it sent out a call. Old allies, old enemies, mercenaries, smugglers, anyone who still remembered the fear of Earth's fury. Back in the Krell command ship, the warlord barked orders. Changed tactics again. Our eye is glitching. Our destroyers can't lock on. His officers were nervous. Something felt wrong. One shouted, Sir, multiple unknown vessels entering the sector. The screen flickered. Dozens of odd ships appeared, patched together, fast, wild, flying with no formation, no rules, and no fear. Who are they? The Krell warlord demanded. A message came through. One line. You poked the wrong ghost. Inside the Velari command deck, alarms echoed again, this time not in fear, but in shock. Dozens of strange ships were appearing near their fleet. Human tech, pirate rigs, old Earth dreadnoughts held together with rust and fire. Jace smiled. You called for help? Sale asked, stunned. I didn't need the whole army, he said. I just needed the ones mad enough to answer. Ending suspense. One of the ghost minds spoke cold, flat, deadly. Target locked. Shall we make the galaxy remember? Jace nodded once. Make them never forget. The Krell didn't understand what was happening. Their scanners picked up new contacts every second. Some ships were cloaked. Some were half invisible. Others had old Earth tech patched with alien steel and powered by unknown cores. And all. of them moved like shadows. No formation, no warning, but when they struck it was pure chaos. On the bridge of the Krell, dreadnought Varktal, alarm screamed. Unknown vessels have bypassed our front line. They're inside our perimeter. They're inside our ships? That last report was true. Some of the ghost ships weren't just fighters. They were boarding crafts built to cut straight into a hull, deploy a digital consciousness, and take control from within. Inside one Krell warship, the lights flickered, then died. A human voice echoed through the speakers. "Nice ship." "We're keeping it." The engines changed color. The ship turned and began firing at its own fleet. Back in Velari space, General Sale watched the madness unfold. "These aren't just ships," she whispered. They single quotes ghosts and machines. Jace Monroe stood beside her, calm, focused. He pointed at the screen. "That one used to be a mining rig. Now it carries 3 ghosts who turned it into a missile. That one? It was a cargo hauler. Now it's hacking Krell targeting systems." He smiled grimly. "We don't need numbers. We just need madness." Inside the command core of the Velari flagship, Ghost LT, Mara Yinsu floated above her interface, half light, half code. She was reading battle data faster than any AI. She transmitted a simple command: initiate Firestorm protocol. Across the fleet, dormant weapons activated systems the Velari didn't even know they had. Turns out, Earth had upgraded them. Secretly, years ago, cannons hidden in ship spines, launchers disguised as cargo bays, nanite warheads tucked inside energy cores. The Krell didn't see it coming. One moment they were chasing Velari destroyers, the next. Those same ships turned and unleashed fire that bent space. The Krell ships buckled. Some exploded mid-turn. Others vanished entirely. But it wasn't over. Because in the darkness of deep space, the Ghost flagship awoke. A giant black dreadnought, human-made, missing for decades. Its name, the EID-OLON. No one had seen it since the siege of Jericho Star. Now it returned, crawling from a hidden wormhole. Its hull was cracked, its paint scorched, but its systems perfect. A single voice came over the channel. Calm, ancient, Eidolon online, memory core stable. Ghost command linked. Jace's eyes widened. "I didn't call them," he whispered. Sale turned sharply. "Then who did?" Mara answered from her console. "The Eidolon has no living crew. It responds to one signal only. Emergency Earth code, extinction. Level threat. On the Krell homeworld, High Command was in panic. What do you mean, Earth technology has returned? They had no fleet. They had no army." One technician shook his head, trembling. "They had memories, sir. And someone let them out. The Ghost fleet swept across the stars like a storm. They didn't take prisoners. They didn't need supplies. They didn't even sleep. Just code, vengeance, purpose. The Krell warfront collapsed in days. And for the first time in centuries, the stars echoed with a message the galaxy thought was long forgotten. Earth remembers. And Earth never forgives. Ending hook. But deep inside the Eidolon, one sealed chamber remained unopened. Inside it, a single human body, frozen, eyes closed, heartbeat slow, yet steady. And beside him, carved into the metal, "Do not wake, unless the war is lost." The chamber on the Eidolon was locked for centuries, buried deep inside the ship. No light, no noise, no crew. Only silence. Until now. A red light blinked once. Then again, the ship had scanned the battlefield. The Krell were retreating, but not broken. They were calling for reinforcements. And a new fleet was coming, larger, stronger, with planet killers. Eidolon ran its last emergency program. Status: Total war threshold reached. DNA match confirmed. Opening chamber 9. Aga's hissed. Metal shifted. And inside the freezing pod, a human opened his eyes. Jace Monroe stood on the bridge of the Valari flagship when the alert came through. Chamber 9A has been opened. His blood turned cold. That's not possible. He's not supposed to wake. Not unless General Sale finished his sentence. Unless we're losing. They rushed to the Eidolon. Its systems recognized Jace immediately. Command acknowledged. Access granted. They entered the chamber, and there he stood tall, pale, muscles stiff from cryosleep. His eyes sharp, piercing. He looked at Jace. Confused at first, then his voice rough, but steady cut through the silence. How long? Jace swallowed. 300 years. Earth? Jace hesitated, then quietly. Gone. The man closed his eyes, took a breath. Then I'm very awake now. His name was Commander Elias Vorn, the last general of Earth's final war. A man who refused to die. Before Earth fell, they placed him in cryosleep, hidden inside the Eidolon, linked to the ship's core. They said, if everything fails, if we're broken, let him finish it. And now, it was his time. Elias stepped onto the command deck of the Eidolon. Every console responded to him. Weapons primed. Shields rose. Engines burned with ghost fire. He looked at Mara, the ghost lieutenant. You've done well, he said. But you've been playing defense. She nodded. He continued. I'm not here to defend. I'm here to end this. In Krell space, their new war fleet approached. Thousands of ships, planet burners. Ships large enough to block suns. Something strange happened as they entered the war zone. One by one, their systems glitched. Engines flickered. Weapons failed to lock. And then, the Eidolon appeared. Alone, facing the entire fleet. A single dreadnought. Against thousands. They laughed until it moved. The Eidolon didn't fire missiles. It rewrote enemy systems mid-combat. It hijacked navigation, corrupted gravity drives, turned Krell weapons against themselves. Within minutes, the front line tore itself apart, and behind the chaos, human ghosts poured in riding in hacked Krell ships, speaking in code, flying with fury. Elias Vorn stood at the helm, calm as stars fell. This isn't revenge, he said. It's correction. Back in the Galactic Council, panic grew. The Valari Emperor sent a private message. You said Earth was extinct. You lied. And now everything's burning. A single reply came from the shadows of the human resistance. You made. Yous forget Earth. But Earth never forgot you. The ghosts are just the beginning. Ending hook. In the ruins of a dead Krell battleship, a strange symbol was found. Not Krell, not Valari. Not human, a third power, watching from the void, waiting. And when Elias saw it, he froze. We were wrong, he said. The war isn't ending. It's just beginning.